South Africa, a country that pulses with energy, color, and life at every turn. From the rolling hills and dramatic coastlines to the bustling cities and quiet rural villages, this is a land that promises adventure for every traveler, no matter their budget. It's a place where vast landscapes meet vibrant cultures, where every corner tells a story, and every face you meet has a history to share. The diversity here is breathtaking, not just in the scenery, but in the people, the languages, and the traditions that make South Africa truly unique. I found myself standing under the shadow of Table Mountain in Cape Town, feeling both small and exhilarated. The mountain loomed above, a silent witness to centuries of history, and I was ready to take on a thrilling challenge that would push me far beyond my comfort zone. My plan was simple, yet ambitious, to travel from the southern tip of Cape Town all the way to the legendary Cradle of Humankind near Johannesburg. This journey would take me across more than 1,400 kilometers of ever-changing landscapes, from coastal roads to high-veld plateaus. But there was a catch. I had just $200 in my pocket, enough, I hoped, to see me through the entire trip. Every rand would count and every decision would matter. This wasn't about luxury or comfort. It was about stripping travel down to its essentials, about connecting with the real South Africa, its people, its food, its hidden gems, while sticking to a shoestring budget. I wanted to prove that you don't need a fortune to experience the soul of this incredible country. Could I find safe passage, a warm bed, and nourishing food along the way? Would the kindness of strangers and the spirit of adventure be enough to carry me through the unknown? Each day would bring new challenges, and I'd have to rely on my wits, my resourcefulness, and the generosity of those I met. The journey would test not just my ability to budget, but my adaptability and courage. I'd have to navigate unfamiliar towns, decipher local transport, and make quick decisions, all while keeping my eyes open for the beauty and wonder that South Africa has to offer. With nothing but a small backpack, a sturdy pair of shoes, and a heart full of anticipation, I set out. My mind buzzed with excitement and a touch of nervousness. What stories would I collect? What friendships would I forge? And what lessons would I learn along the way? As the sun rose over Cape Town, painting the sky in breathtaking hues of pink and gold, I felt a surge of hope and possibility. The city was waking up, and so was I, ready to embrace whatever the road had in store. The open road stretched out before me, calling my name with the promise of discovery, challenge, and unforgettable memories. My South African adventure on a shoestring had officially begun. Cape Town, the mother city, is breathtaking. My task: explore its wonders without breaking the bank. Instead of the pricey cable car, I hiked up Platte Gorge. The views from the top were free and priceless. At the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, I watched seals and listened to street musicians. In Bo Cap, I wandered through colorful streets, a testament to Cape Malay culture. Evenings were spent watching sunsets from Signal Hill. I nibbled on a simple bread roll, feeling immense peace. Cape Town's treasures, the mountains, the sea, the history, are generously offered to everyone. The city's heart was revealed, proving beauty doesn't require a big budget. Cape Town had shown me its heart. Leaving Cape Town was bittersweet. The city had become a tapestry of memories. Sunsets over the Atlantic, the vibrant hum of the markets, and the ever-present silhouette of Table Mountain. Yet, as I stood at the bustling bus terminal, backpack slung over my shoulder, I felt the familiar pull of the unknown. The anticipation of new horizons mingled with a tinge of nostalgia for the place I was leaving behind. But the road north beckoned, promising adventure and discovery. There's something magnetic about the open road, a sense that anything can happen just beyond the next bend. My budget dictated the long-distance bus as my chariot. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real. An authentic way to experience the country, shoulder to shoulder with locals and fellow travelers alike. The bus, a lifeline for many, was a significant chunk of my budget. Every ticket purchased was a small investment in the journey ahead, a commitment to the miles and stories waiting to unfold. As the bus pulled out, Table Mountain faded into twilight, its familiar outline slowly swallowed by the deepening dusk. I pressed my forehead to the window, watching the city lights twinkle one last time, feeling both the weight of departure and the thrill of what lay ahead. The real overland adventure had begun. With every turn of the wheels, the landscape shifted, urban sprawl giving way to rolling hills, then to the vast, open spaces of the countryside. Dawn revealed the Great Karoo's astonishing landscapes. The desert stretched endlessly, painted in hues of gold and rose by the rising sun, It was a view that could only be appreciated from the ground, where every detail unfolded slowly, mile by mile. The bus made stops, allowing us to stretch and breathe in the crisp air. Each pause was a chance to shake off the stiffness of travel, to feel the earth beneath our feet, and to take in the quiet beauty of remote towns and endless horizons. Conversations sparked with fellow passengers, sharing stories and snacks. Strangers became companions, united by the shared rhythm of the road and the simple joys of travel, laughter, music, and the passing scenery. The bus became a temporary community, a rolling village. People from all walks of life, students, families, workers, wanderers, each with their own destination, yet for a few hours, all part of the same journey. This mode of travel was about the space in between. It was about the slow unfolding of the country, the subtle changes in landscape, and the stories that emerged in the liminal spaces between departure and arrival. It was about seeing the country at ground level, witnessing the patchwork of fields, the distant mountains, and the small towns that rarely make it onto tourist maps. The journey was long but far from boring. There was a quiet camaraderie among passengers, each finding their own way to pass the time, reading, listening to music, or simply gazing out the window, lost in thought. It was a shared experience, enriching and humbling. The road reminded us that travel isn't just about the destinations, but about the people we meet and the moments we share along the way. The road ahead was calling once more, inviting us onward into the unknown, where every mile held the promise of a new story waiting to be written. The long bus journey across South Africa's vast interior demanded not just patience but a sense of adventure. Each hour on the road brought new landscapes, shifting from rolling hills to endless plains, and every so often the bus would pull over for a much-needed stop. These pauses weren't just for stretching legs, they were opportunities to step into a different rhythm of life, to witness the subtle changes in scenery and culture as the kilometers ticked by. I disembarked in Beaufort West, a town that felt like a living postcard from rural South Africa. Its main street was lined with tin-roofed houses and small shops, each with its own story. The air was dry and crisp, carrying the scent of dust and distant rain. Here, time seemed to slow down, inviting travelers to pause and take in the details often missed in bigger cities. My accommodation for the night was a simple guest house, unassuming from the outside but warm and welcoming within. The room was clean, the bed comfortable, and the sense of safety was a quiet comfort after a long day on the road. The owner greeted me with a smile, sharing a few local tips and a story or two about the town's history. As evening settled in, I wandered the quiet streets. Life here moved at a gentle, deliberate pace. Locals greeted each other by name, and the silence was broken only by the occasional laughter drifting from a nearby porch. It was a world away from the rush of city life, and I found myself breathing deeper, feeling more present. I spent an hour at the local museum, a small but fascinating place that offered a window into the region's soul. Old photographs, farming tools, and artifacts told stories of resilience and community, of people who had carved out lives in this challenging yet beautiful landscape. As dusk painted the Karoo in shades of purple and gold, the landscape transformed, the air cooled, and a hush fell over the town. It was as if the land itself was preparing for the night's grand performance. When darkness finally arrived, the Karoo sky revealed its most spectacular treasure. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens like a luminous river, its countless stars twinkling with ancient light. Far from city lights, the sky here was impossibly vast and clear, a reminder of how small we are in the universe. I stood outside, gazing upward, feeling a profound connection to the cosmos. In that moment, surrounded by silence and starlight, I realized that some of the richest experiences cost nothing at all. The universe felt close enough to touch, and my worries seemed to fade into the night. With the first light of dawn, I boarded the bus once more, ready to continue my journey north. The road ahead was long, but my heart felt lighter, filled with the quiet magic of the Karoo. Traveling through the Karoo taught me that even the so-called empty parts of a country are brimming with character and hidden stories. The land, with its rugged beauty and resilient people, left a lasting impression on me. My budget remained intact, but more importantly, my spirit soared. Each stop, each encounter, added a new layer to my journey, reminding me that adventure is as much about the people and places you meet as the destinations themselves. The open road beckoned, promising more discoveries and quiet moments of wonder. I felt a renewed sense of purpose, eager to see what lay beyond the next horizon. It's in these quiet, often overlooked places that you truly feel the heartbeat of a nation. The Karoo, with its silence and stars, had shared its secrets with me, and I carried them forward on my journey. As the sun rose over the South African landscape, I set off with fresh inspiration, ready for whatever stories the road would tell next. Eating on a budget was a delicious exploration of local flavors. In Cape Town, I discovered the Gatsby, a cultural institution. As I traveled north, I enjoyed Vetkoek, a warm, comforting treat. At bus stops, I paired it with strong, sweet coffee. Local markets and street vendors offered affordable, authentic food. I feasted on Beer Wars rolls and bunny chow. These meals were social experiences, connecting me to daily life. By shopping at supermarkets, I prepared simple picnics. This approach saved money and connected me to South Africa's culinary heart. The country's culinary heart is found in humble, flavorful food. A journey is about the people you meet. On the bus, I met Nomvula, a passionate nurse. In Beaufort West, I met Koos, an elderly gentleman with stories. He pointed me to the best place for biltong. At a craft market, I met Thabo, a talented artist. These encounters were the true highlights of my journey. They painted a rich picture of South Africa. The country's heart is defined by its people. These memories stay long after the journey ends. Arriving in Johannesburg was a sensory shock. My budget meant staying in a backpacker's hostel in Maboning. The hostel staff offered tips on navigating the city safely. I visited the Apartheid Museum, a powerful, necessary experience. It provided crucial context for understanding South Africa. In Mabanang and Bramfontein, I explored street art and vibrant markets. The neighborhoods market was a melting pot of cultures. Navigating Johannesburg required street smarts and minibus taxis. My time in Joburg showed a city constantly reinventing itself. It looks forward with creative, resilient energy. It was the perfect urban gateway before the final leg of my journey. Johannesburg's energy was a thrilling contrast to the Karoo. An hour from Johannesburg lies the Cradle of Humankind. This UNESCO site is where our story began. I joined a shared shuttle to make the trip affordable. The Maropeng Visitor Center offered an interactive journey through history. The Sterkfontein Caves tour was a highlight. Standing in the caves, I felt a connection to our ancestors. Visiting the Cradle was the perfect end to my journey. I had traveled across modern South Africa, meeting its people. Now I stood at the beginning of it all. The experience was a pilgrimage to the source. It connected today's South Africa with its ancient roots. The journey was a profound lesson in what is truly important. The Cradle of Humankind was a humbling experience. As I headed back to Johannesburg, I reflected on the journey. I had traveled over 1,400 kilometers on a $200 budget. This journey taught me that money isn't the key to meaningful travel. The real currency is curiosity, courage, and an open heart. By letting go of luxury, I found genuine connection. My advice: be brave, step out of your comfort zone, and trust in kindness. Budget travel requires planning and resourcefulness. The journey was a profound lesson in discovery, connection, and wonder. If you dream of adventure but have a small budget, don't let that stop you. The world and its wonderful people are waiting for you.